Good morning, dear student. Today we will read class 12's book Flamingos, chapter Lost Spring. It is written by Anis Jung. It is taken from her book entitled Lost Spring. Stories of Stolen Childhood. Here her story revolves around the pitiable condition of poor children who are forced to live in slum and work hard in very dirty conditions. Before going to read a detailed summary of this chapter, we should read about some important keywords which are written on the board. Looking for, it means trying to locate और discover, किसी चीज को खोजने की कोशिश करना. Looking for, trying to locate or discover, it means किसी चीज को locate करना, पता लगाना, खोज करना, कोशिश करना. Slog their daylight hours. Slog their daylight hours. It means struggle during the daytime, यानी working whole day. Root over his head. Root over his head means a place to live, उन्हें रहने का एक जगह. Perpetual state of poverty. Perpetual state of poverty means endless impoverishment. Impose the baggage on the child. Impose the baggage on the child. It means enforce the profession on the child. यानी जबरदस्ती किसी बच्चे से वर्क कराना. Glibly means thoughtless, बिना विचारे कुछ कहना. Embarrassed means feeling awkward. It means असमंजस की स्थिति, confusion state. Bleak means dim, धुंधला सा. Shuffles move feet, यानी पैर से चलने की आवाज करना. Perpetual means everlasting, जो हमेशा समय के लिए हमेशा बने रहना. Desolation means loneliness, एकांत निर्जन जगह पर. Desolation means loneliness. Periphery means edge means किनारा, इसी शहर के किनारे रहना. Squatters means the people who live in place without permission and without paying for it, यानी बिना परमिशन का, बिना पेमेंट किए हुए किसी भी जमीन पर अपने तंबू गाड़ लेना. It is called the squatters. Transit means temporary, अस्थायी रूप से. Cruising means looking, find out something, किसी चीज को पता लगाना. Hums means murmur, यानी बुदबुदाना, किसी चीज को स्पष्ट नहीं कह पाना. It is called the hums. Dear student, now we will Read detailed summary of this chapter. Lost Spring. The story is divided into two parts. The first part story revolves a rag picker named Saheb who every day comes to the author's colony to search the garbage heaps for some coins and other things to sustain his life. Saheb and his family were Bangladeshi migrants. One day, writer asked him, "Why do you do this work? Why do you not go to school?" But soon she realized that this is the hollow advice for Saheb. Saheb says, "Ma'am, there is no school in his neighborhood. When they build, I will go." After some times, he meets author to ask if school is ready. She said, "Just joke. It takes a longer to build a school." But promise like her becomes hollow for Saheb. After month of knowing him, author asks his name. He says, "Saheb e Alam." Saheb e Alam. He does not know what its meaning. If he knew its meaning, Lord of the universe. But he does not know its meaning. If he knew its meaning, Lords of the universe. But here he roams the streets with his friends, an army of barefoot boys who appear like the morning birds and disappear at noon. It was more of a tradition for rag pickers to remain barefoot. They used it as an excuse to conceal their poverty. They have no means to wear paper shoes, though they will to possess a pair of shoes. Simapuri is in Delhi. becomes heaven for rag pickers like Saheb. The author feels that for children, garbage is a mysterious gift, whereas for the elders, it is just a means of survival. Simapuri, a place on the periphery of Delhi, those who live here are squatters who came from Bangladesh back in 1971. Saheb's family is among them. Simapuri was then a wilderness. It still is, but it is no longer empty. In structure of mud with roofs of tin and tarpaulin, devoid of the sewage, drainage, or running water. There almost 10,000 speakers live. The condition of these peoples are very poor. They have lived here for more than 30 years without an identity, without permit, but with ration cards that get their names on voters list and enable them to buy grain. Here peoples food for here peoples who lived here, food is more important for survival than an identity. One day I asked Sahab, what do you find in the garbage? Sahab says that sometimes he find a rupees, even a 10 rupees notes. He's saying that he got the wonderful things of the universe. He becomes very happy that time when he can find a silver coin in heap of garbage. He said that we do not stop scratching, for there is hope of finding more. It seems that for children, garbage has a meaning different from what it means to their parents. For the children, it is clothes in wonder. For the elders, it is means of survival. One morning, one winter morning, I saw Sahib standing by the fence gate of the neighborhood club, watching two young men dressed in white playing tennis. I like the game. He hums content to watch it standing behind the fence. He wanted to go in and play with the boys, but gatekeeper does not allow him. He swing him from there. That time, Sahib too is wearing tennis shoes that look strange over his discolored shorts and shorts. It seemed that someone gave him as he explained me. In fact, that they were discarded shoes of some rich boy who perhaps refused to wear them because of a hole in one of them. Yet he does not bother. He was very happy. Instead of walked barefoot, even shoes with a hole is a dream come true for Sahib. Another time I met Sahib. He was standing at the milk booth. In his hand, he is in his hand, he had a steel container. Now he was working in a tea stall down the road. When I asked how many he earned money, then he said he had paid he got 800 rupees and all meals. I Author asks him, do he like the job? He cannot give answer. But it seemed to me he was not happy because he lost the carefree job. The steel canister seemed heavier than the plastic bag he would carry. He would carry to lightly over his shoulder. The bag was his. The container belongs to the man who owned the who was master of the tea shop. Sahib is no longer his own master, so it seemed that he was unhappy for their tea stall work. In second part of this story, the author met a boy called Mukesh. Mukesh, who is living in Firozabad with his family, who are the bangle makers. Most of the families in Firozabad are engaged in making bangles. About 20,000 children work in the glass furnace of the Firozabad. They have to work in very unhealthy condition. Mukesh takes the author to his house that was situated in Stinking Lanes slum area. Though Mukesh's father works hard, he has been unable to change the condition of his family. Mukesh's grandmother regarded it as their destiny. She says that they were born in the caste of the bangle makers and have been nothing but bangle in their life. The author feels that the life of the bangle maker is very difficult and in a vicious cycle of the pain and the misery, of which there is no end. The author sees a girl named Savita in another hutment. She says that she has not enjoyed even one full meal all her life. The author says that the cry of the poverty rings in the every home in the Firozabad. These poor people are exploited by the sahukars, policemen, middlemen, and bureaucrats and the politician. The author feels happy that Mukesh had decided to go to the garbage and learn the job of the motor mechanic. Dreaming of the flying airplanes seems too distant and too long a dream for him. At last, being the mechanic will help him a master of his own. He would be able to remain independent unlike Saab.